Hello, I'm Susan Cadeau. Thank you for being with us. Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt went through 6 hours of questioning before the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee. The panel was charged with holding hearings on Pruitt's nomination to take over the Environmental Protection Agency. While Republicans on the panel showed support for Pruitt, Democrats grilled him on conflicts of interest, protecting big industry over people, and over the agency's role in battling climate change.
The ranking member of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, Delaware Democrat Senator Tom Carper, believes we all have a moral obligation to serve as stewards of the planet. He's concerned that Attorney General Scott Pruitt doesn't see it the same way.
We need to be convinced that you embrace it as well, not just with your words, but with your deeds. Much of your record suggests otherwise. And today and in the days that follow, we need to find out where the truth lies.
Both of Oklahoma's U.S. Senators Jim Inhofe and James Lankford were at the opening of the hearing to show their support for Pruitt. In his opening statement, Attorney General Pruitt told the Senate panel, if confirmed, he would run the EPA in a way that allows for harvesting of the Earth's resources while being good stewards of the air, land, and water.
Rule of law matters. Process matters. It inspires confidence in those that are regulated. The law is static, not transient. Regulators are supposed to make things regular, to fairly and equitably enforce the rules and not pick winners and losers.
The hearing was interrupted briefly by vocal protesters, something Senator Carper said showed the deep concern over Pruitt's appointment, concern that goes back to the presidential primary and statements by then-candidate Donald Trump.
We're going to get rid of it, EPA, in almost every form. In you, he's put somebody in place who has actually defunded or led to the defunding of the Environmental Protection Unit within your own agency.
Since taking over as the Attorney General in Oklahoma, Scott Pruitt has sued the EPA 14 times, and a number of those suits are still pending, including lawsuits against two of the EPA's biggest decisions, the Clean Power Plan and the Waters of the U.S. rule. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, questioned if Pruitt would care about the impacts of air pollution in his state.
A bad air day is a day when people driving into work hear on the radio that ozone from out-of-state smokestacks has made the air in Rhode Island dangerous, and your passion for devolving power down to states doesn't help us because our state regulators can't do anything about any of those problems. They all come from out-of-state sources.
Pruitt found support from the other side of the hearing horseshoe. Republican West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Caputo blamed the EPA for costing her state jobs in the coal industry.
The regulatory overreach of the EPA has contributed to economic devastation in my state of West Virginia and in my region. Data from the Mine Safety and Health Administration shows that 60,000 coal jobs have been lost between 2011 and 2016.
Senator Caputo wanted Pruitt to assure her that under his administration, the EPA would follow the law and weigh regulations against the cost to local economies.
I really believe that it's important that rule of law is adhered to because it inspires confidence in those that are regulated.
Massachusetts Democratic Senator Edward Markey focused on whether or not Pruitt was a climate change denier.
Donald Trump has called global warming a hoax caused by the Chinese. Do you agree that global warming is a hoax?
I do not, Senator.
So Donald Trump is wrong?
I do not believe that climate change is a hoax.
Okay, that's important for the president to hear.
Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont took the conversation on climate a bit further.
97% of the scientists who wrote articles in peer-reviewed journals believe that human activity is the fundamental reason we are seeing climate change. You disagree with that?
I believe the ability to measure with precision the degree of human activity's impact on the climate is subject to more debate on whether the climate is changing or whether human activity contributes to it.
Other senators pushed Pruitt to commit to keep the rules on ethanol production intact, do more to allow the lumber industry to cut down trees, and get the EPA out of the regulation of agriculture. Senator John Boozman, a Republican from Arkansas, dealt directly with the years-long battle between Oklahoma and Arkansas over pollution of the Illinois River by chicken waste.
New leadership at EPA has an opportunity to correct this coercive federalism and instead restore cooperative federalism as intended. The states have the expertise and local knowledge necessary to administer environmental programs.
Attorney General Pruitt assured Boozman that he shared the same goal.
Transparency, objectivity, a commitment to process is very important, in my view, of restoring the confidence of the American people in the rulemaking processes that occur here in Washington, D.C.
There were also conflict of interest questions about donations to Pruitt's various political action committees from companies the EPA would likely regulate. 2 of those PACs have now shut down. But before closing the committees, money was given to the state GOP, a state lawmaker, and over $100,000 went to a PAC with ties to a committee that is supporting Pruitt's campaign to take over the EPA.